Welcome to Enquiry into Self. So, we're discussing our shadows or deconditioning, that part of us that has habitual ways of being, habitual ways of thinking that tilt us back into feeling like we have something to be afraid of, or we have something we have to earn, or something we have to fix. Now, how do we catch these things? Life is a constant workshop. Life will show us constantly. And what I've discovered is so often the result is being less hard on ourselves, much less hard on ourselves. So you can tell by where do you tend to compare yourself with others. So one of the things that I'll think I have to do is take even better care of my health. Am I sleeping enough? Am I eating healthy enough? Am I exercising enough? Am I doing, you hear this new modality, oh yes, I should be doing that too. And, if I look around and I see, oh, well, they're doing that, should I be doing that too? Different kind of breath work or whatever it is. And even my head will start going, well, if there's more people who seem to do less than I do, then I must be good enough, right? Isn't that a ridiculous external rule? It's the inner guide that knows if we're doing well enough. If the inner aliveness feels nurtured, fabulous. If the inner aliveness is asking for more, then we can give it more. It's really that simple. There doesn't have to be the comparing. And then there can be this relaxing in, it's good enough. It's good enough. However much I'm sleeping is good enough. However I'm eating is good enough. However many practices I'm doing is good enough. It doesn't have to be validated by comparing with others. It doesn't have to be validated that am I doing all the different ones I wanted to do. Just listen. Does the inner wisdom want more? Great, I'll do some more. Does the inner wisdom not want more? Great. But it's a relaxing of that measurement, a relaxing of this constant evaluation. So often shadow work is actually letting ourselves be exactly how we are. And then the comparing, it becomes unnecessary. So for you, it could be in a completely different area. Maybe it's you compare your finances with other people, or you compare your house with other people, or you compare your community of support. Maybe so-and-so seems to have a lot more friends or a lot more support or a lot more networking, and you don't feel like you do. Or it could be preparation. Some people really want to make sure that they've got what could happen, got what they need in case there's a disaster. Do they have enough extra water or enough whatever, alternative energy sources, or it can go on and on, right? That comparing, that caution, that's the shadow, that's the effort at trying to make a secure existence. But the secure existence is not in any of those things. The secure existence is in following the inner wisdom. The secure existence is in what is. The secure existence is knowing that what we are is unharmable. So anytime that we're noticing that we're comparing with others, we hear so-and-so got blank. We start thinking, oh, Should I have that too? All of those things are this, acquisition of safety. Can we acquire safety? Safety is what we are. Whatever happens, what we are is the safety that goes right through the experience. It's the being that goes right through the experience. We have no idea, right? I mean, I'm sure you've had many things happen that looked good that you couldn't have predicted. And many things happen that looked bad that you couldn't have predicted. And somehow life worked its way right through. We don't have to listen to that harping, comparing. The shadow work is relaxing and giving the voice a reply that says, it's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Whatever it is, whether it's having more adventures or whatever it is, it's enough. And as we test where in us knows that it's enough, we start tapping into true being. Some part in us already knows. And we may be habitually tied to the comparing mind. We may be habitually tied to these standards that we think we have to live up to. And so it's harder to feel the part in us that actually feels it's enough. Sometimes we even degrade that part. We may think, oh, well, if that's enough, that's just a simpleton. That part, my gosh, it's satisfied with what? It's satisfied with that level of health. It's satisfied with that level of adventures, that level of money, that level of social interaction. Whatever our funny brains come up with, the part of us that knows it's enough may feel at first like a simpleton, a slacker. They feel like, how in the world does that thing know? It thinks that's enough? But when you tune in more deeply, maybe that slacker is actually very wise. That part of you that says, oh, it's enough, that's much more simple, that part isn't overstressing your adrenals. That part isn't making demands that keep you going and going and going. That part isn't even making demands on the external society. The external society is processing exactly as needed. You might think, oh, well, it doesn't care. It doesn't care enough about the environment. It doesn't care enough about politics. It doesn't care enough about the poor. I'm sure in whatever area you feel moved, you're doing something. And to think that more has to be done, more has to be fixed now, rather than just trusting the process. The thing that thinks more has to be done now is part of our shadow. The part that trusts the process, that engages while trusting the process. That's the deeper inner wisdom. And, we're conditioned to think, oh, that deeper inner wisdom can't be right. It's not active enough. It's not proactive enough. Well, that's our shadow masquerading, right? Demanding, 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 demanding. This trusting the process, trusting the inner wisdom, letting this moment be enough. That is true being. And there's a letting go and an opening to letting it be exactly as it is, including the interest in engaging, but without the compulsive critic, without the compulsive demand. And it's not detached, in an uncaring way. It's simply appreciating and appreciating and appreciating. So shadow work doesn't necessarily mean that we're becoming a bully to ourselves. In fact, quite the opposite. It's very often letting go of this need to prove anything. It's very often settling into a contentment. And as we do that, we feel the easier connection, the very natural connection with the deep wisdom, with true being, which is what we already always are. So if you find this helpful or think it might help somebody else, please push like and subscribe.